To go. Okay, guys, thank you for getting on the call. I appreciate it. It is our second week of our success series, and tonight we have the wonderful Amy Lewis. I can't say enough about Amy. Amy is awesome. I would have never met her if it wasn't for Kristen introducing us, and she just walked up to me and Brad at Summit and was like, hey, can I sit with you guys? And me and Brad were in love from the minute we met her. So obviously she's doing amazing in this business, and I wanted her to talk to you guys tonight about finding your niche market. And she's got some other things she's going to talk to you about, but I think she's great at finding her niche market because you wouldn't know it to look at Amy, but she is 50 years old, and she finds, she gets her people and she gets them excited about this opportunity and the business, and challenge packs and just everything about Beachbody. So I wanted her to share that with you guys tonight. So if you don't know Amy, this is Amy, and we are going to let her have the floor.
Okay.
Thank
Hi,
you,
everyone.
Amy.
Yeah. How long did you want me to go for, Jen?
You can talk. I'm a blabber, so you can talk as much as you want.
Okay. I'll probably go really fast.
Yeah, they're used to it, so blabbing is okay.
Well, thank you guys for having me. I have to say, Jen, when you called me, I almost declined the call. And I'm going to tell you why as I go along, but I'll give you guys a little bit of history. So I started as a discount coach in December of 2014. Basically, I knew Kristen and I saw her transformation pictures, and I was kind of following along and was really just interested in Shakeology. I was working with a personal trainer and a guy who was like training Steelers and Penguins, and I was working out in a gym with like Heath Miller and Ryan Clark and Ross Ventrone, and so I really wasn't interested in the workouts. I was just looking for a healthy shake because I was just drinking protein shakes. So I started doing that. I didn't know anything about the coaching opportunity, and I didn't know anything about the challenge groups. I got my little packet in the mail. I think I threw the disc somewhere in a drawer, and I just forgot about them. So at some point, I think Kristen said, you can be a discount coach and you can get a discount on Shakeology. And I knew that Kristen and Adam, I knew they were really young. I knew they just bought a house, and I'm not a bargain shopper. I don't use coupons. Like if I can pay full price for something, and get it like the minute it comes out, I pay full price. So I was like, no, I'd rather you get the commission. I don't need a discount. You're so cute, whatever. So I just left it at that. And then, at some point, I think it was close to the summer, she said it again, you can get this discount. And, and then she said something about a challenge group. So then I started following Tina. Do you guys know Tina Salem on our team? And Tina started doing Body Beast. Well, I started looking at Tina, and I'm like, I'm in this goddamn gym, like with Heath Miller and all these, and I'm like, I don't have a body like that. Like, what the hell is she doing? So I messaged Tina, and I'm like, Tina, can I get in this challenge group you're advertising? Now, Kristen, if you guys know her, she has some illnesses and stuff, so she doesn't really work out. So like not knowing how this whole thing worked, like I'm trying to sneak in this challenge group with Tina, like not even knowing that Kristen's running the challenge group. So long story short, I end up in this challenge group. Kristen's running it, Tina's in it. And I'm like, oh my God, like I'm in the gym, like pushing a sled against these guys in the NFL and college and NHL. And then I do like a 30-minute video with Autumn, and I'm like laying, I'm dying. So immediately I just start calling everyone I know, and I'm like, you guys have to do this. So I sign up as a coach without telling Kristen. So she put me, I'm like on the wrong leg that, she would have put me on another, like, I don't even know where I am. But, and then like literally signed up for Summit, went to Summit by myself. Nobody else went, from that I really knew. I think I met Steph like the week before, right? Yeah, like at a photo shoot, I think the week before. Pretty much went to Summit by myself, and then the week that I came back from Summit, I went Diamond. So I signed my first coach on 5/28. I think I went Diamond on 7/28. So basically, I just am one of those people, like I can create excitability and excitable people. So when you look at my niche market, I kind of struggle with that because really, if I can just get someone to listen to me, I'll convince them. So it's really like, kind of funny. I went to a party one time a couple of years ago, and the FBI guy who helped, he's a handwriting specialist, and he helped solve the Unabomber case. And he did a sample of my handwriting, and that was what he said about me. Like I can control excitability and excitable people. So if you get me someone excitable, I can control excitability. So that's my niche market. So if you look at the number of people on Facebook, and I don't know if you know the statistic now, how many it is. Has anyone heard? It's like 1 trillion. So like you look at how many people, there are so many people on Facebook. So that's your market. Like, and people say, yeah, you have to find your niche market, but we're going to get to this. If you don't have a like page, you do not know your niche market. Because I think I've heard some stories, Steph and Jen, like if you look at your statistics on your like page and you start seeing who's following you, you start to kind of figure out who your niche market is. But at any rate, so since I became a diamond coach, the thing that really strikes me about this business, and I've been in business for a long time doing other businesses. I've always been kind of an entrepreneur. My main business is mapping, surveying, and engineering. And since I became a Beachbody coach and went diamond, my other business has taken off. And basically because in Beachbody, they teach you how to be successful at anything. So I took what I learned from Beachbody, I applied it to my other business because that's where I am all day. And I've changed my life because of Beachbody. In the last, from August to now, I went from being a project manager to being a senior vice president. Today I was named on the board of directors of my company. I've increased my income by 63.5%, from August. I've started inviting to my company. I now have people joining my company who I wouldn't have even talked to before, some of the most prominent people in my industry. I've grown my team in my company now so that my company is like a team of people who I want, so basically I took all the things I learned in Beachbody, applied them. And I recognize my team in my company. So I've changed the entire climate of my company just learning what I learned in Beachbody. So again, when Jen called me, I was like, I don't really have anything to tell anybody because my Beachbody business has kind of suffered, but it's because I've done everything that you're supposed to do in Beachbody and I've done it in my business. But then I sat and I looked at what I've done in my business over this, the past half a year, and it's blown me away. So basically, what I want to talk to you about, which is really interesting, is in the last month and a half, I decided I kind of really needed to shit or get off the pot with Beachbody. So what I've done is I took a success partner and I've basically kind of invested all my free time because you have to sacrifice short-term sacrifices to gain long-term results. And I've tried to figure it out the best way to propel my business forward in 2016. So I've investigated what the best way to go about navigating your business on Facebook is and the best way to set your goals and propel your business forward. And I'm telling you, everything that Beachbody tells you works because I've done it in my real life, in a very short time. And I wasn't starting from scratch. So with Beachbody, and none of you guys are really starting from scratch, but if you are, and you do the vital behaviors and you invest in PD, which I'm telling you is the best thing you can possibly do, you will propel your business using these tricks. So one of the things I know we talk about, and I don't know, how many of you guys have a like page? So, okay. Do you post on your like page regularly? Okay. So the thing with Facebook, I don't know if you guys know it, and it changes all the time. I was listening to a podcast. It was Christine Dwyer, who's got the biggest network in Beachbody right now, the Platinum Presenters, I guess it is. And it was in 2015, and she said, make your like page go blank. Like put something up on your, not your like page, I'm sorry, your personal page. She had said, make your personal page go blank and just go to your like page. Right now in 2016, that is absolutely not the way to go. There's a woman called Mari Smith. It's Mari Smith. She is like the queen of Facebook. And Facebook changes all the time. They change the algorithms all the time. But the way things are right now is what you want to do is build your personal page to gain people, like get people to follow you, and then push those people over to your business page to promote your business. So basically, when you're on Facebook, your personal, you're stating that you won't run your personal page for business purposes. So you can be shut down. You know, if people get annoyed with your posting, you know, the likelihood of that happening is slim, but there's no point pissing somebody off or doing something. So really you want to build your following, propel your people over to your like page, and then work on your like page to keep people there and send them to your website, and be promoting your business. And you kind of want to keep people like swirling in this infinite loop, and then eventually be directing them to a website or a blog. So if you look at people who are successful, like, you know, go to Melanie Mitro. She's number one in the company, whether she's your style or not your style. You click on her. It's very easy on her about page to see what she does. She's CEO of her like page. So like, I mean, I'll pick on Jen. I went to Jen and it said, you work at Jen Stevens. What is your like page? Jen Steven Health and Fitness. Like you look at Melanie's and she's CEO. And same thing with Jen's, with Steph. Steph, I remember when I very first looked at your profile the first time, I was like, wow, Steph's a CEO. I'm like, wow, she must have her shit together. So, you know, and it's so funny, like I have kids who are in their 20s, you know, when I tell my kids, like, you know, people used to say, be modest, you know, this and that. You have to brag about yourself. Like if you don't brag about yourself, nobody knows what you do. So when someone hits your page, just like when someone hits my company website, I have to tell them, like, I want a PennDOT contract. I want a Turnpike contract. I want a, you know, a contract with this DOT and that DOT. Because if you don't tell them, they don't know. So I'm a badass. Like I'm a CEO of my company. I'm this, I'm that. It's right here with a link to my like page. And then you get to my like page. And I love what you guys have. Like, hey, thanks for stumbling onto my page. Not sure how you got here, but here's what I do. And then, you know, get them to your blog. And on your blog, keep track of those awesome things that you do in your challenge groups. Like, I'm the queen of recipes in my challenge groups. I mean, I have thousands of recipes, and everyone's always like, oh my God, your recipes. Like, why don't I have a blog with all my recipes? Because I could keep somebody busy for hours. And here I am on Melanie Mitro's, like copying her freaking recipes because I don't have a catalog of my recipes. Like, so you kind of want to like entrap people in this circle. And you guys, you know, if you're running challenge groups and you're doing these things, you have this content. So you want to keep people swinging in your, you know, in your like reality of, you know, reality. And your like page, you still want to be real. You still want to be a person, because people don't want to be doing business with a business. They want to be doing a business with you. But the point is, when you get them there, you want them to stay there, and you want them to creep, and you want them to, you know, to stalk. But you don't want them to go over there and go, oh, like, what does she do? I don't know. I'm going to go find someone else who has their shit together because they're posting and they're consistent. And, you know, and I'm the queen of not doing that, but these are my goals in 2016. And I'll tell you, I'm running a February challenge cup. And one of the things we're doing is we're adding 10 new people a day. And I'm adding 10 people I don't know. I'm adding them from groups. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm adding these people. They're going to my page. And on my page, Todd, my boyfriend, has tagged me in like 27 bulldog posts in the last month. I mean, go to my page and you're gonna be like, what the hell does this girl do? Like her boyfriend tags her with bulldog posts. Like, that's why you don't just want a personal page, because you'd have to really dig through my stuff to see that I'm a Beachbody coach. So that's like another reason to have that like page, because, you know, then you can control, people can't just tag you in posts that aren't applicable to your business. You know, I tell them all the time, like, don't tag me in these posts, you know, and I'm like hiding them, you know. Then he tags me in a political post about Hillary Clinton, and I'm like, oh my God, you know, like you don't want to not have that control. It's your business, you know, you have to be legitimate. And so you really want to control it. I'm kind of getting off the subject a little bit, but yeah, so, you know, the other thing, if you're legitimate, your legitimate business, you're going to grow your like page. You can boost posts on your like page. You can boost them to specific targets. And then the big thing is that you can look and see who's looking at your post, what time they're looking. You know, really, like, if you're not looking at the statistics on your like page, it's basically like opening up a store, having some teenage kid run it, and just letting people come in and buy stuff, and you don't know who's buying, what they're buying. You're not taking inventory. You know, I mean, it's just so haphazard. So if you really want to narrow it down and make things easy for yourself, you know, you have to really track who your customers are. You know, if all your customers, like for me, you know, I'm looking at my pages and all my customers are other coaches, you know, or people who are commenting, you know, you've got to stop that popularity contest type thing and stop following coaches and start really adding new people, but making sure that those people really know what you do when you get them to your page. I mean, there's no point in me adding 70 new people a week if I'm not showing them and it's not totally clear on my page what I do. The other thing that's huge, and I know Jen and Steph can probably talk about this too, is the forms. You need to have a form, and I just did 2 forms, one inviting to the coach opportunity and one inviting just to the challenge groups. You may not get traction with those. People may not fill them out, but when they go to your page and they see that you have a form, that you're like, hey, thanks for stopping by. If you want to, you know, join my challenge group, so, you know, fill out this form, or you want to learn more about the coaching opportunity, it just legitimizes that you're a business. You know, they may not fill it out. That's fine, but you need to do it. It literally took me 5 minutes to make my forms I did Wufoo. You can do Google Forms. 5 minutes. And I'm telling you, I am not internet savvy at all. Like, I can't do PicMonkey at all. Like, I can maybe do Photify sometimes. Like, I'm not, you know, I'm literally like, I use my age as an excuse, and I shouldn't, but I'm so much more effective just calling and talking to people or private messaging people. I just don't waste my time. I mean, I find that I do better just calling or talking. I do better face-to-face. I Zoom with people, but I have trouble with that stuff. But the forms, again, just do it. It's so easy. I mean, I think you guys should all get off this call. I'm sure Jen or Steph would be happy to post a form. Melanie Mitchell has one. Click on hers and just copy her form. It's so simple. And again, it just legitimizes your business. So yeah, let me just, the other thing I just want to say too, is the Facebook algorithms. And this is just as of right now. So we all know that the number one thing that Facebook likes is videos. So the more videos that you post on your page, the more traction you're going to get and the more Facebook's going to show your posts. The number 2 thing right now is pictures that are posted from Instagram over pictures that you post straight from Facebook. So that could change. And Facebook, we don't know, but they may have a cutoff where they may say, okay, we're only giving traction to half of the pictures you post from Instagram and maybe not all of them. So don't do it all the time, but it's a really good idea to do it. And then when you do it, tag, so share them from Instagram and then get on and then edit them in Facebook. And then, of course, the other huge thing is engagement. So Facebook counts how much engagement you have on your posts. So that's another reason to be using your like page so that you can see when your posts get engagement. So if you post something and somebody comments, definitely like their comment at the very least, but always comment on their comment, whether it's a smiley face, a thank you chick, thank you girl, something, because you get rated.
Aim, real quick, touching on that, I know Steph and I have talked about it, and I don't know if we talked about it with you, but I know they added that reply feature. I don't use that whatsoever because I don't feel like what you're saying is the activity. I don't feel like the reply feature is getting it's not as like a comment. Do you know what I mean? Like,
right. So go in the comments. Right.
I've always told them to like go actually comment back to somebody rather than replying back to them, because a reply is not going to show as like an additional comment on a post.
That could be true. That I do not know, but definitely, yeah, definitely stay engaged, engage quickly. And once you actually get verified, which, you know, I don't know what it takes, how many friends you have to have, but they actually start counting how long it takes you to reply to comments on your, you know, inquiries and stuff that you get on your page. So those things are important. Yeah. The other thing that's huge, go ahead.
I was just going to say, as far as that message thing, to get that thing to pop up that you respond in like so many minutes, I just asked like a couple of my friends, like, you know, like other coaches and stuff, like, hey, send me a message on there while I'm sitting here so I can respond to it real quick.
Oh, and then does that come up?
I think so. Yeah. I had like, I don't even remember. Jen, I might have had you do it, and Katie, and quite a few people. I was like, hey, just send me a message real quick. And I just responded, you know, they were just like, hi. And I said, hi, like,
Yeah.
just to get that boosted. I don't know how many messages you have to have that pop up, but that's what I did to get it.
Okay. And yeah, you know, the other thing too, birthdays are huge. Like, you know, I know sometimes you feel funny, but happy birthday to everybody. Like, that's one thing, it'll boost the connection. I mean, that's just a great way to reach out to people. I'm trying to think if the other thing is scheduling content too on the like page. I don't know if any of you guys schedule your posts, but you can schedule content on your like page instead of using a third party. And obviously Facebook likes this much better. So that's something that you definitely want to be doing if you schedule posts. I know I find that really difficult because I have a hard time being creative, especially creative in advance. So then the other thing I just want to touch on really quickly, and this is what's really, I think, propelled my business this year. And this is what I'm really applying to my Beachbody business. And the one thing, it's just like a neurological science. I know we all walk around with our phones all the time, and we're constantly putting things in our phone. But the key to really remembering things and getting things into your head is writing them down. So with goal setting, the big thing with goal setting, and they've done hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of studies, is that we're all purpose-driven and we're all most comfortable with clear goals. And if we don't have our own clear goals, we're more comfortable working for other people who have clear goals. And that's probably why most of us are on this team with Jen and Steph, because they set these clear goals. So it's really easy to fall in with them. So what you guys need to do is you need to write your goals down. So the best thing to do is just take like 3 to 5 minutes and write down 10 goals. So you don't really want to think about it. You just want to think about 10 things and just write them down. They could be like financial goals, like maybe you want to get out of debt. Maybe you want to buy a new car. You could be like family goals. Maybe you want to buy a new house. Maybe you're looking for a dream job. What you want to do with your Beachbody business. You want to be a 3-star diamond. You want to reach emerald. Whatever it is. So you're going to just take 3 to 5 minutes, write all those goals down. Imagine you could achieve them all, because there's no goal that's bad. But then just take one goal, like one of those goals that's going to have the biggest impact on your life and on all those other goals. So you're just going to take that one goal, and you're going to write that goal down on top of a piece of paper. So then decide what that goal is. So whatever that goal is, be very specific about it. So if it's an income goal, how much income do you want? If it's a Beachbody goal, what do you want? Like, do you want to become a 1-star diamond? And if it is, by when? So be very, very, very specific. And write it down. If you don't write it down, it's like smoke. It's gonna drift away. You have to write it to make that connection to your brain. And then make a deadline. So, and make it a pretty heavy deadline, because if you push these things too far off, they kind of just become wishes, so you have to push a deadline. There's no unrealistic goal, but there's sometimes unrealistic deadlines, but that's okay, because that's what pushes you. Then you're going to make a list of every single thing that you need to do to achieve those goals. Write down all your obstacles. So, maybe so if it's with Beachbody, like, what are your obstacles? Is your other job an obstacle? Are your kids an obstacle? Is your husband an obstacle? Is your girlfriend an obstacle? Like for me, my obstacle, I don't have a workspace in my house. Like, I'm in my bedroom, and I'm sitting here like, here's Todd's laundry. Like, I had to, so I don't have a desk. I don't have a filing cabinet. I have a computer at work, a computer at home. And I'm like, I don't know how to use Google Drive because I can never remember, So like, what is your obstacle? And write them all down. Like, who are the people you need to get on board? And what are you going to say to them? What are those conversations going to look like? And then, so get all those things together. And then number 5, you're going to organize the things that you need to do by sequence and priority. So whatever you need to do to achieve those goals, you're going to put them in a sequence and organize them by priority. And then number 6, you're going to take immediate action. So as soon as you have this piece of paper, you're going to start. So if you have to have a conversation with your husband or your wife or whatever, and you're going to say, I want to reach this goal, you're going to have that conversation right away. You're going to get going, because procrastination is the biggest stealer of life. Absolutely. And then you're going to do something every single day to reach that goal. And you're going to do it the first thing every day. I don't know how many of you guys read personal development. My 2 favorite books, I've read 5 already, I think, this year. Go for No, huge. Eat That Frog, huge. Brian Tracy, No Excuses, huge. But I'm telling you, Eat That Frog, that's what this is. Like, do the worst thing, the hardest thing, first thing in the morning. Get it out of the way, and it gets you, like, it builds your self-esteem, builds your motivation, get that hard post out, schedule it the night before on your like page. You just have to start building momentum, and then, get these hard things out of the way early, but do the things, like, these things aren't that hard, like, they're easy, but if you do them over and over and over again, like, it's these little short-term kind of sacrifices that'll build long-term business for you, and you'll see results. I'm working with my success partner, and she was like, I'm not doing anything, and now she's like on track to hit Success Club 20, because she's been consistently just adding new people, and then when she adds them, they have a place to go and stalk her, and then she sends them over to her like page where they stalk her more, and now she's like swirling them into her little her blog where she's storing content, and they're like, wow, she's got her shit together, and really, strip away the Beachbody products, because we all have them and nobody really cares. What it is when they look at you, they want to be like you. They're looking at Steph and they're like, I want to be like Steph, or I want to be like Jen, or I want to be like Hope. They're looking at you guys, and the reality is like, they think you're cool. They can identify with you. They can identify with your life. And that's why they're choosing you. Like, and you have to create excitability in them. Like, your niche is who you can create excitability in. Like, that's your niche. So whoever that looks like, that's what it is. So it doesn't have to be such, I'm 50. Like, honestly, I was at the grocery store behind this 50-year-old woman. I'm thinking, that's not my tribe, you know? So it's hard, but you'll find it, and they'll come to you if you're really posting from your heart. And you have it in your head really what you want to do. So that's kind of it in a nutshell. And then, my one last thing really, like, all the experts say, and they're all right, like, invest in yourself, get to Summit, and, and spend your free time now, like sacrificing like what you can for later, because the payoff will be huge. Read PD, I'm telling you, like, that'll give you the edge.
You're so right. Thank you so much, Aim, for sharing with us. So many little like nuggets that, you guys can take away from that, honestly. And it's so true. And we talk about this all the time. And I know I preach it to you guys. And I sometimes feel like, because I'm the same way, that sometimes you need to hear it from someone else. And then it kind of resonates a little bit. But with the whole thing of goal setting, obviously you have to write them down. I'm sitting here at my desk and I have 2 whiteboards in front of my face that are smacking my 2016 goals in my face. So I know, obviously, we don't want to disappoint ourselves. We're competing with ourselves. And that's the only person you should be competing with. But don't set a goal for yourself, unless you're not working your business at all, for Emerald March 30th, because it's totally doable in less than 30 days. I mean, Amy, she isn't somebody that I would say. Amy went diamond in what, Aim, like less than 30 days or like 30 days?
It was, it was like technically like 2 months, I think.
Yeah. It's doable that way if you are putting yourself out there, or, you build however you want to build. But don't be afraid to set those goals for yourself, because you feel like diamond is so far off that you're just afraid to, set that goal. Because
and I think, for me, it wasn't so much hitting diamond in retrospect, but I think what it was that, I look at, like, you just have to share the excitement of it. It's just like, and I see you guys, like, you make a great recipe and you're like, oh my God, you have to taste this. It's so good. Or I went to this great movie. And I know you guys hear this stuff all the time, but it's the same thing with the business and with, it's it's like how exciting it is when, you can share something that someone else is going to be successful. Like, I had this friend who was driving like 20 minutes to go to the gym. She was very overweight. And then she would get on the treadmill for 10 minutes. And I'm like, oh my God, if she could just do the 21-day fix in her house, like, I know she'll do better, So it's like that passion, but we can't be scared of it, because who cares if they say no? Like, and that's where I really changed when I read Go for No. Instead of worrying like, oh my God, what if somebody says no? My thought was, put 50 invites out and I'm going for 50 no's. And if I get 40 no's, then I got to invite 10 more people. Like, don't, instead of thinking of a no as a negative, like, no's what I'm going for. So if I invite 30 people and I get 10 no's, then, I have more people to invite. Like, it's not a scary thing if you switch your mindset. Like, don't be scared to ask.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people get afraid because it's such a touchy subject. But, I mean, I have gotten to the point where I just kind of share it as I would share a new hair product for my hair, or, a new food product that I love. I mean, this is something that has changed my life. It's changed probably everybody's on this call's lives, because there's a reason you're still here. So why not share that with people? I mean, it is amazing, the products that we have. So like Amy said, just don't be afraid to share. Steph, do you have anything to add? And then we can maybe open up for questions, Amy, if you're okay with that.
Yeah.
I know I thought of something, but I forgot. But yeah, I mean, you guys, like, Amy covered pretty much everything. I know it was kind of quick, but yeah, I got nothing.
Well, you guys, does anybody have any questions? Because you can unmute yourselves and ask away.
So I guess I need to talk about this light page. I'm struggling just to have a regular personal page, and you're talking about having a like page and keeping this
Yeah,
blue when
so
people coming. I mean, I'm so serious because like I'm so really trying to build this business. I'm trying, and I think I'm good at it. It's just taking time, you know. So let's go back to the like page. I hear so much. I know how important it is, but I still work a full-time job. Like, you know, it's like I barely can keep up with keeping my regular Facebook page. And how am I going to keep this traction, I guess? Like, what do I do on like, I'm really not even sure about the like page. Like, what do I even do on the like page? What do I do?
So it's funny. I went to Becky Brissett's page. I don't know if you looked at her at all, Jen.
Yeah, I follow her and her sister all the time.
So what was interesting about Becky Brissett, on her page, she literally she goes to the Beachbody blog and literally posts things from the Beachbody blog on her like page, almost exclusively.
Is that acceptable?
Anything is acceptable to get you going.
If
So
you're giving people information, you're adding value to people.
So I remember, Hope, you telling me, you know, when we went to the Super Saturday, the reasons that you became a Beachbody coach, the things that you were concerned about, like the disease, you know, like disease for African American women, you know,
Absolutely.
like things like that. So
Yeah.
on your like page, if you just find, like what I would recommend for you is if you find a group, like I'm sure there's a group on Facebook for disease, like whatever one of those topics were that we
Yeah.
So go to one of those pages and you know, just like the Huffing Post or whatever, and repost content from those pages to your like page. So it's useful content for someone who might follow you. So
Okay.
find a couple groups, and then once you start building that traction, you know, where you're getting some people, that's when. So what I do, like I joined all these Bulldog pages, and I'm just adding 10 people a day from the Bulldog pages. I thank them for liking my post, or you know, accepting my friend request, and then I just say, hey, if you ever want to know anything about my, you know, health and fitness groups or whatever, you know, and I know Jen and Steph have a million scripts, and I'm doing exactly what they do. And I just, you know, thank them, and, you know, and then I start the conversation there, and I invite them to my challenge groups. So, but if you're just schedule, I mean, you could probably go on and find 10 articles that you find interesting. Just copy them and schedule them to post to a like page. Like, you don't have to make it hard.
Yeah,
Literally,
part
of my problem is I'm an analyst for my day job, so I tend to overanalyze a lot of stuff. So I'm thinking like, and that's where I'm at. I'm like, I don't even know what to do. I don't even know how am I going to keep traction. But you really made it very simple.
Yeah, just find those things that are your passion. So you know, like something on Zumba, something on, you know, like the disease and things that we had talked about. A recipe, and you know, that's 2, so maybe one more thing, 3. And
so how do you even get started? Like, is it, so how do so I go out and I created a like page today. How do I get people, like the first person to like the page? How do you like get it out there for people to like it?
I shared it on my page. I shared a lot on my page, but I don't physically share from there. I don't, and Amy, you could probably, I know Christine and all this, Shalene even, a lot of people say don't share things from your like page to your personal page, because basically people are getting the content right then and there. They don't have to physically go over to your like page and like it. So like what I find works is I will, like I did it tonight. I posted this recipe from my blog that I posted yesterday. And I said, hey, if you're looking for a yummy Mexican dinner or whatever, going to be a staple in our house, head over to Jen Stevens Fitness and Nutrition, and I tagged my page, and that sends those people over there. And that seems to work a lot, because literally usually after I do that, 5 to 10 minutes after I do that, a good 5 or so people end up going to that page, looking at the recipe and, you know, liking it. And that recipe was a link from my blog. So then when they click on that link, they are now going to my blog and seeing, you know, other things, or it's like a hit on my blog. So I have those it's constantly like a full circle thing for me going. And I noticed since I've been concentrating, like Amy said, on my like page more, I'm not posting as much, Beachbody invites maybe as I do more so on my like page. Cause I'm almost to like 1,000 likes on my page over there. So I'm really trying to shift the focus over there, but not totally, because I know there has to be a balance between the two. But like Amy said, Hope, it is honestly so simple, because I wish they would do this for personal pages where you could schedule your posts, because there is a thing where you would, if you select publish, if you drop down on there, you can select schedule. And I know when I went on vacation, I scheduled 7 posts for my like page every morning while I was away. And I didn't post on my like page at all. Those posts were already ready in there. And I did that last night, actually. I posted something for a 21-day fix invite for it to post at 12:30 today. And none of that stuff I posted on my like page today did I personally post. It was already scheduled to go up on there at a certain time.
Well, how do you do?
Yeah, and it's kind of like healthy eating. I mean, you can't eat healthy one day and then expect to lose weight. Like it takes a while to build that like page, but you just keep sending people there and say, I mean, I haven't gotten any traction there because I'm just starting to build it, but you just keep sending people. And then
hated my like page.
Hey, if you want to see my weight, like big teasers over there, big teasers.
I'll be 100% honest. I hated my like page when I first had it. I hated it because I was like, this is so tedious. It's work. But like I tell them all the time, if they don't want the additional work, then don't do it, because you do have to put a little bit of time into it. So you can't just create a like page and not do anything with it, because once you do become a superstar coach and you start posting over there like crazy and sending people there, they're going to be like, where were you for like all these months? It's been created. But no matter what, at least 1 to 2 posts a day. Like she said, Hope, if you can post, a recipe in the morning, or, and it honestly might you can get your followers to go over there, or your Zumba people, or, whatever. It's just another outlet for people to have for you, rather than, and there is so much more that you can do on a like page, guys, than you can do on your personal page, because Facebook is really strict about personal pages versus and the boost post, I do probably maybe 4 of those a month. I probably spend every time I do one, I do it for $10. So I spend $40 a month to invest on adding new people that I do not know to my like page. And there's so many, I have every link on there possible, to my blog, to my, all my Beachbody stuff, anything that is a sign up, it goes to so you're directing people to you. And we talk about this all the time about, not sharing other people's posts and, making it you and getting those people connected to you rather than somebody else.
Yeah.
How do you differentiate what you put? So Jen, this is, I guess, for you, Jen, how do you differentiate what you put on your like page as opposed to your personal page? Is it the same? And because I go to your like page sometimes because you just entice me to go over, so I got to go over and see what you say or what you put over there. But I don't go over there all the time, but I do see what you put on your personal page. And there's a lot of, your life, the dog is out there, your your whole, so what's different on your like page?
I may just put something. I know for me, I will do 3 posts of Shakeology either on my no matter what, there's 5 posts of Shakeology in a week somewhere divided between my like page and my personal page. Mm-hmm. I share personal development I really kind of bounce them off of each other. Mm-hmm. If I shared Shakeology on my personal page yesterday, I'm not sharing it there tomorrow. Or today, I'm going to post it over on my like page. If I shared a picture of my Shakeology and my personal development book and me reading, and I share Rocco probably a lot more on my personal page than I do on my like page. So, but I'm getting more comfortable with being a little bit more personal over there. But I share things that I think would interest people. When I have something of fashion or an outfit that I want to learn, get advice on, or I'm talking about an outfit that I pulled together, or, you know, something cute that I put together in my house, like decorating in my house. And like yesterday I put this back wall was blank yesterday. And I did, you know, a before, and then today I posted my after picture of, because we were putting this up, and I asked people's advice. And so it's just little things like that. That's more kind of like, I kind of really bounce them both off of each other, but I'm learning to kind of shift my focus over there business wise a little bit more. And on my personal page, I'm more tactful in my posts when I'm posting my workouts. And, you know, I share when I post a picture. I posted a picture yesterday of me and Rocco. I was eating my lunch. He's laying here. And I just said something about the lifestyle of, you know, being able to, I couldn't even imagine having to drive 45 minutes to and from work, you know, now that I'm home, and, you know, that was dreadful, or whatever the post was. And I do more of that on my personal page now. And I do more of like my business inviting type of stuff on my like page.
So this is kind of crazy, I know, at this point in your career, but imagining that you're going to stay with this and this is going to keep growing. So what like Mari Smith will tell you, and like what Melanie Mitro does, like, so on your personal page, you can only have 5,000 friends, and on your like page, you can have an unlimited. So what people do is they keep their personal page a little bit shy of 5,000 people. So like if you go somewhere and you meet people, you add them as a friend on your personal page, and then you'll shoo them over to your like page. So if you think to the future, your pages are going to be very similar. However, on your like page, that's where you're actually doing your business practices, because technically we're not supposed to practice the business on our personal page for fear of getting shut down. So yeah, so the inviting to your challenge group and the things like that you do on your like page. You know, so in the beginning, you know, you're going to do the things to entice people, like, hey, you know, if you want to see the weight loss results from my challenge group, go on over, you know, to Hope Pickens Fitness, and I'll post it later. You know, like, so you're going to do like the jab, 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 hook, enticing things to get them there. But, you know, right now the contents are going to be very similar. And then, you know, again, later as you grow, when you have 5,000 friends, because you're going to, that's when it's going to become really important to have that like page, because you're going to run out of room. So that's what it's for. And that should be on your goals, to hit that 5,000, because then it's awesome.
No, you're not allowed to talk.
Sorry, Steph.
No, that's okay. I just want to say, because I know that it can be overwhelming to feel like you have to do everything. And starting a like page, like, it doesn't have to be overwhelming. You don't have to invite your entire friends list and everybody that you know to go over to your like page right away, and then have to worry about managing both of them. Make a like page and start posting on it, and get some content on it, you know, so that like right away, if you can't be consistent all the time posting on it, and, you know, you're just feeling it out, like, just build it up a little bit, get some content on it, get used to posting over there, get it on your radar until, you know, you have it down, and then invite people to it, because then you have content on there, so that when people do come to your page, because how many times have you been invited to somebody's page and there's nothing there? It's just like this blank page, and you're like, well, what the hell am I going to like this page for? There's
everything but sale, everything
right.
Selling stuff.
So, I mean, I say, like, because, you know, you don't want to overwhelm yourself with it. You don't want to take on more than you can handle. So don't even invite anybody to it. Just create it, post there when you can, put it on your to-do list. You know, go from, okay, I want to post there 3 times a week, to I'm going to post there every day, to I'm going to post there twice a day. Start scheduling out your posts, feel it out, see, you know, like, figure out when you can post a day, you know, just see how you feel about it until you're comfortable doing it, and then invite people over to it and start doing that. Like, hey, I just made this awesome recipe, go over and check it out, or, you know, check out my transformation, or, you know, whatever it is that you need to do to get people over there.
Okay.
That's my 2 cents. Because that's how I am right now with my blog. Like, I want to start a blog so bad, and I'm like, I just don't have the time and the energy to sit down and put into it right now. So, you know, I was just talking to Jen about it the other day, and I was like, really, I just want to focus on, like, you know, because everybody has these beautiful, pretty, well put together blogs, and I'm like, I just don't have time to sit down and do that. So I'm like, I'm just going to work on getting posts on there so that when I do that, I can just launch it and it can go and people can like it and everything's already there.
Yeah.
Don't overwhelm yourself with it. It doesn't have to be overwhelming and stressful. And I'm going to tell you, I still don't love my like page because I don't get the traction there that I get on my personal page. And all the time I'm like, oh, I need to post this on my like page, but I don't want to.
But you know what? When I look at your whole thing, it's really appealing, and you've always just, you look really legitimate. Like you look like, wow, she's got this business going and it's great. So from the outside, it's very appealing, and it's obvious from what your business is doing that it's working.
Yes. And if there's a post there that you don't like, that you don't feel so comfortable, like I get so mad when I post like a good transformation there and I'm like, it's probably not going to get that many likes or traction. Then I go back 7 hours later and I tag myself in it, because then I know that instead of taking that post and sharing it to my page, I'm going to tag myself in it because it's going to show that Jen Stevens Fitness Nutrition tagged Jen Stevens in a post. So,
and something else that I learned too, because I had a hard time with Instagram for a while, and I was like, everybody talks about Facebook and Instagram and a like page and a blog, and you just feel like you have to do everything. And I was like, I can't, like, I always heard, and I don't know where I heard it, but it was early on, and it was like, make sure you have different content on everything. And I was like, I just can't. I can't do all that. So I finally got to a point that somebody was like, no, like if you have to post the same thing on both, then post the same thing on both, because chances are people aren't going to see both of them. So my Instagram feed is my Facebook. They're the same thing. And I'm like, you know what? If people get tired of seeing it, they can unfollow me on Instagram, because there's people on Instagram that aren't following me on Facebook and vice versa. So
I have a good tip for you. What I've been doing is like some things that I post on my like page that I don't want to put on my personal page, I'll post them on my Instagram.
Yeah, my Instagram is pretty much like a mix of my personal page and my like page.
Mine is like a mixture of both.
Yeah. But even if you have to post the same content from right now, I just posted my workout picture right now. I put a collage picture on my like page and one picture, same quote on my personal page, same post. Because I'm on a team call and I just don't have time to do all that. But you know what? I put it out there.
Yeah.
Somebody doesn't like it.
Can you see this? No, you can't.
Not a little bit.
If you go to somebody's like page and you hit following on their like page, so like if you go to Jen Stevens Fitness and Nutrition and hit following, and under following, your options are unfollow, default, and see first.
Yeah.
If you don't click see first,
you're never going to see the post.
You don't see their posts. Like you see random ones, but you don't really see them. So unless somebody actually took the time to go and click see first, and you're not somebody who posts a lot of things from Instagram, a lot of videos, a lot of things on Facebook, they are not seeing your posts. So like I've had people on my team have other people write them rude messages and say, oh, you post too much. The only way that somebody sees you posting too much is if they go to your page and scroll through and read every one of your posts. So
if that's the case, they're just being a hater.
So like literally, I always want to see like what Jen posts and what Steph posts, because it's very inspiring for me, because I think, wow, like if they have the time to do this, like I can take the time and make a post. So I want to see it and I don't. So like I have people, like other people call me and say like, oh my God, did you see Kristen playing the guitar? I have not seen Kristen play the guitar one time, and she's my upline. Like, so I'm telling you, you do not see people's posts, and they do not see your posts like you think. So don't ever, ever, ever feel like you're being annoyed. Like how many times have you seen the Geico commercial? Right? I mean, you guys know that.
Oprah talking about bread.
Right. I mean, this stuff, you're supposed to see advertising. Like, so you need to post. Like, so again, like Steph, when I go to Steph's page and I go to Jen's page, like it's comforting for me to see the consistency in the post, like the repetitiveness in the post, because I look at that and I think there's nothing crazy. She's doing the same video, the same thing every day. I don't have to eat some crazy shit. I don't have to do that. I don't have to do that. I can do the same thing day in and day out and get results. Like it doesn't have to be crazy.
Yeah, you're right.
It's simple.
Yeah, it really is. So to leave you guys with this, 3 things that my top things that have just been on my mind and that I'm taking away from this call too, because we talk about this all the time and I'm sure Steph's team talks about it, but boosting each other's posts will do amazing things for you and your posts. Like Amy said, Facebook is watching how much traction you're getting. Facebook doesn't care if you're getting traction from 10 other coaches.
Yeah.
They want to know about the traction you're getting. So if you have a success partner, hook up with them, ask them to like your post, ask them to comment on your stuff. I will message Steph in the morning and say, can you like and comment on my post? And she likes it and puts a heart on it. And that is totally good for me. I don't need her to write a paragraph on it for me. That's all you need to do, because guess what? When she does that, it shows that she commented and liked it, and it's popping back up in the newsfeed. Prime example of somebody who Steph said about, posting the same content over and over, on 2 different pages or whatever. Bonnie Engel last year at this time at Leadership or the New Leader Conference, she was barely a 2-star diamond. This year, she was a 15-star diamond, and she was speaking on stage at New Leader Conference, and she barely uses Instagram, and she has her personal page and her like page, and she posts the same thing on both pages all the time. If you go to those 2 pages, you will see that she posts the exact same thing on both pages. So don't think that like, oh my God, I posted the same thing over there, because sometimes you're not going to have the same people that come over there. I know me, I don't know why, or this is the funniest thing. And Steph and I have talked about this so much. When I boost my posts to like my target audience, I only get like people from Mexico and Mexican. I don't know why I attract Mexican people, but I do. But that's okay, because it's people that I don't know and that aren't on my like page or aren't on my personal page.
Even though you have it in there as U.S. and Canada, we don't ship to Mexico.
I don't know why, but it happens all the time. Maybe it's the way I talk. I don't know. But and the last thing I have for you guys is I had my one-on-one with Hope on last Thursday, and her and I always do a Zoom like this when we have our one-on-ones. And when I do it with her in the evening, Brad is always here, and he eavesdrops all the time. So he was listening into our call last week, and he told me, and I kind of like was proud of him for listening and, saying he was proud of me, but he liked the advice that I had given Hope, because she said to me, I had told her, just make random posts about, I said, look at me. I was in my closet talking about a shirt that I had on for 3 days, and I turned that into a coaching opportunity post. And she said, well, I don't have the ability to do that because I don't work, from home, Beachbody. And I said, there was a time when Brad thought it was the stupidest thing that I ever did in my life, because I took a picture of my gas gauge on my car after I had filled it up. And it was after I had left work. I took a picture, I filled my car up. And to be honest with you guys, that made me so proud that I put $50 worth of gas in my car and I did not worry, because I used to be a person that would put $10 the 2 days before paycheck and wait until my paycheck came, because I didn't have the money. And that I told Hope in that I said, this is an advice to you. Like, it doesn't have to be this huge, oh my God, Beachbody made me stay at home. I'm working from home. I'm living my dream, because Beachbody has done that for me. Thank goodness. But you can easily do something like that, because that's before, when I did work full time, I wasn't making buku bucks, and I'm still not making buku bucks. But that's the way that I shared the opportunity with people, because that, to be honest with you, is a better way to share it than sometimes being at home full time, because being at home full time isn't going to come for a wow for people. Being able to fill up your gas tank with no worries and not take money out of your personal paycheck, that's more real to people. And that's going to relate to people more, because now, like I told Hope, you can make in that post, now I don't have to take that $40 out of my paycheck. One step closer to living my life by design or building my dreams. So don't be afraid to not have this huge thing, or like look at me or staff and say she gets to stay at home all day. Because believe me, I feel like Melanie Mitra sometimes, and I'm a hot ass mess over here. Even though I'm home, there's no schedule that goes on. There's nothing. So you guys are doing what you can do, and don't overcomplicate it. We say that all the time. This business is hard sometimes. It's tough. But the days that it gets tough, put your nose in a book and read. And close the laptop. Because that's whenever things are, the going gets tough, my personal development gets me through it. And I've told my whole entire team this before. Last year, around this time, January and February, I called Nikki and cried to her and said, I want to quit this business. This is just not for me. I can't do this. And she was like, what in the hell is wrong with you? Because in my eyes, I was failing. But in Nikki's eyes on paper, I had Success Club 12 and 14. Like, there was nothing wrong. But what happened was I was comparing to myself to other people, and I was not reading personal development. So that's what I can leave you guys with. I know we preach it to you all the time, but personal development will get you through everything. And we look at those before we became Beachbody coaches. I looked at that person and be like, you went to counseling? Like, what's wrong with you? But honest to God, I told Brad the other day, like, maybe we should just talk to someone, just let our feelings out. And, sometimes that's a good thing. And I get that from my personal development sometimes. Like, it's okay to read self-help, because I've told you guys before, Nikki, I lied to her for 3 months and told her I was reading personal development, and she knew that I wasn't doing it because she just could tell in the way that my demeanor and the way that I was posting on Facebook. And I can see it today. If I don't post good on Facebook, it's because I'm not reading my personal development, because a lot of my bright ideas usually come from those books. So yeah, Amy loves. I love that you shared that, Amy, because they're getting a different perspective of reading business type of personal development versus. Because for me, I read total badass personal development. Like, I need.
Well, I do that too. I mean, I do all those too.
Yeah. So. Well, because I actually told them around, I think it was in December, on our December calls, I told all of them, I was like, I do not want to hear anybody reading anything about the business, personal development. You guys need to be reading like badass personal development, because this is the month that is going to crush you, if anything. So. Right. But yeah, I mean, you just have to find something that works for you. If you are struggling in an area of your business, your life, find a book and just read it and dive into it.
Yeah, I'll message you the list tomorrow of what I've read, and if anyone
because I have a huge list in my team page, and I'll just add those books to it. So
I just read a good mix, and I've been reading, I'm reading a ton. So.
Good. Well, we appreciate you, Steph and I. Thank you so much for doing this for us. And
thank you.
If nobody else has any questions, we're going to respect her time and let her go. Does anybody have any questions? No? You're good? Okay. Thank you, Amy, again for getting on, and thank you guys for getting on, and I will see you later.
Okay, bye.
Bye, guys.